Thoughtful Questions is my favorite AI content farm on YouTube.
Welcome to our YouTube channel, where we dive deep into the realms of thought-provoking questions and engage in meaningful discussions. Our goal is not to provide definitive answers, but to spark meaningful conversations and encourage critical thinking among our viewers. Let's unravel the mysteries of existence, one thoughtful question at a time.
You've likely seen one of their videos before.
You are in prison, for you are too powerful. Where are they keeping you? I don't know.
The average Thoughtful Questions video is a hodgepodge of art that was stolen without credit or AI generated, featuring a multiple choice would you rather question of a sci-fi or fantasy nature, backtracked most commonly by Arc Patrol's Let Go featuring Veronica Red. The channel's first upload was on February 24th, 2022, and their first batch of uploads are indistinguishable from any other YouTube Shorts content farm. Interestingly, the first actual question was uploaded months later on April 6th, the classic, "Which bed are you sleeping in?" The following video, posted April 7th of 2022, is what I would consider the progenitor of the quintessential Thoughtful Questions video. A question with an emphasis on the fantastical, in this case, the prompt to choose from a selection of magic-imbued weaponry. But this one, uploaded on April 9th, was the first of the specific Thoughtful Questions format that would soon flood my Shorts feed in 2022. Cutting to the quick right away, it tersely informs the viewer, "You died," then asks, "Where are you respawning?"
Part 11. What do you mean, part 11? It's the first one!
Finding the exact origin point of this Shorts genre, something that would explode throughout the rest of 2022, is likely an impossible task. That said, I am confident in saying that Thoughtful Questions, if not the first, was certainly the most successful in this field. These videos trended in tandem with power fantasy hypotheticals, generally tasking the viewer to choose from a short list of abilities.
Choose your musical ability, telekinesis, but only as strong as you are smart.
An entry of this variety was what landed Thoughtful Questions their most popular video to date. Thoughtful Questions continued to alternate between video formats, but this You Just Died series is what captured my attention the most back in 22. TQ, or whatever LLM it was likely using to script these videos, would iterate on the question as time went on. It was no longer just respawning, but a question of temporal reincarnation. Soon, the viewer's death was not something stated matter-of-factly, but something to be celebrated.
Congratulations, you've just died from a car accident. Congratulations, you died. Thanks, Miles. Now I get to choose a different timeline. No! Hey! Whoa! Hold on a minute, too. This is where things get crazy. This was uploaded 2022. How did they know? Thoughtful Questions, how did you know?
Thoughtful Questions posted with the same fervor as the drifter drill that killed John Henry from February 24th, 2022 up until May 12th, 2023, when, much like the folktale itself, the drill broke down. At least temporarily. After this upload, there was an impromptu hiatus until Thoughtful Questions' equally unceremonious return on September 21st, 2023. The top comment proclaiming, "They're back! We missed you!" But at ImmortalCat3948 spoke too soon. The following upload would next arrive January 29th, 2024. The third top comment entreating, "Please stay back this time. This vids are nice to watch. Yes, heart. I love you in your video!" The next upload was March 23rd. A burst of content then followed in April, then another hiatus until July 23rd. Silence after that, until August 25th. The pinned comment reading,
But it says, "I want to admire your content. Your content gives me out-of-the-world feelings. It's something different. Still, I can't express. But I love it and heart you, bro. Thank you so much. Thoughtful Questions. Missed you so much, bro. You are the main reason I even started YouTube. By the way, this is just a ghost account. My real account got shadow banned."
A long wait until December 2nd, then radio silence until March 12th of this year. This past April, the pace picked up once again. Then, like a crashing wave, receded back to nothing. So far, TQ has only peppered a handful of posts throughout June. But don't worry, they're still active, posting scams.
Cheap, from China, limited stock. We're giving out authentic iPhones and laptops from China. Hey! That's scamtastic! Usually they just post like polls.
Now, perhaps you've noticed that these questions are not very thoughtful. In fact, nothing about the channel seems very thoughtful.
Texas 1864, hell no. Absolutely not! What is this? What is this? There's cars in the background. Just the absence of effort. The absence of effort. 21,000 likes. How many views on this thing? 342,000 views. The absence of effort.
But I will admit that some of these videos, if not particularly good, or ethical, or thoughtful, or good, are certainly interesting, or at least provide some sort of value to the viewer.
Hey man, I see your content all the time while scrolling through shorts, but one day I just started seeing less and less of your content until you disappeared. Great to see that you're still posting, albeit less frequently. I just want to say that those times that I watched these kinds of videos were really quite special. And you know what? I'm not even mocking this person because I genuinely, like, when I was in college watching these, when they were coming out, like the old ones, yeah, it was definitely like a strange form of escapism. And it was a time where there's a lot more innocence around like AI art, and you didn't really realize how harmful it was, like already, not even just going to become. And there's something like very strangely like serene about the older ones. This sucks.
Modern Thoughtful Questions videos really go to show how ugly AI art has gotten, especially in comparison with the old fever dream images of DALL-E or Midjourney back in the day. Also, the questions over time have become noticeably lackluster.
He crossed you in 4K. Now choose a power to delete his arc.
Regardless, even if only for a time, Thoughtful Questions did complicate my feelings on AI-generated art. These weird little videos did evoke some sort of unique emotional response in me. Of course, much of that response I'd really only attribute to the human elements.
Why does a song always make things 100 times deeper or more nostalgic? Well, I would say it's because this is one of the few parts of the video that was created by a real person. I want you to notice something. Most popular video, it appears to me that none of this is AI art, but it's actually all stolen art. And I know that this is stolen because I looked it up prior to this. Here it is. Look at this. It's everywhere. This is the creator. So I just think it's really interesting that the most viewed video on this channel uses not stolen art stolen vicariously through an image generator like Midjourney, but actual human stolen art. That guitar fan art is absolutely stunning. No credit, by the way. No credit. Let's check. No credit.
In its modern state, Thoughtful Questions feels more soulless than ever. Of course, this hasn't stopped a surprising amount of people from growing very attached to this channel. Just skimming through the comments during the return era uncover what seem to be genuine appreciative comments written by actual people for what TQ is making. And content aside, there is something uniquely human about Thoughtful Questions. Thoughtful Questions replies to comments, albeit in a suspiciously robotic way. Thoughtful Questions experiments with new styles, even swapping the stolen art at the beginning for different stolen art. Maybe the most human thing of all is their faltering upload schedule, or their desperate scam peddling. This sort of uncanny valley humanity contrasts very sharply with the channels this video is actually about. I bring up TQ because, despite its dwindling impact, this is what I would call a successful AI content farm. Lots of views, seemingly actual fans, minimal effort.
How many views does this have?
Thoughtful Questions 1. And I'm sure many people saw TQ's channel and thought, I can do that. That looks easy. Vexy SFRR certainly did. Vexy first uploaded on February 6th, 2023. Unfortunately for them, their first video was also their greatest hit. Aside from that peak, their videos only once breached 2,000 views. Many struggled to even get 100. Vexy found that the TQ method was not so simple as they were led to believe. And I can say with certainty that Vexy was inspired by thoughtful questions, because in a remarkably desperate Hail Mary for views, here is a thoughtful questions video they re-uploaded in full without credit, which is awesome. And I would be surprised if that were the only instance. From February 6th to April 11th, Vexy posted 105 videos. They haven't posted since. The channel now sits at 114 subscribers. A sepulcher of slop. And these are the videos that fascinate me to no end. Sitting here, alone in this comment section, watching this inorganic thing hardly anyone has even seen, it unnerves me. This is content designed to be eaten like candy, to get views. Without any engagement, it cannot stand on its own. It's reminiscent of an empty parking lot. Traffic is all that justifies its existence. Only when it's empty do you realize how much space it takes up. On February 24th, 2023, during the quiet tenure of Vexy SFRR, Matthew Lee Cothran released Who Owns the Graveyard, an album under his Elvis Depressedly moniker. It premiered with a feature film right here on YouTube.com. Part of the description reads, "In a post-human world, digital remnants of a long-ago past run through the artificial mind of the global digital consciousness like a dream. Created to be like their creator, this consciousness now tumbles through nightmares, illusions, home movies, memories, daydreams, and amalgamations of a self-image. What's in a mirror that no one is looking into?" When creating the film, Matthew Lee Cothran combined footage of his own, stock footage, and videos he found on YouTube with no views. I'll let him explain this next part. It's a lot better than I could put it.
Something really emotional and powerful to me about that there's this video. And, so, a lot of times it's like just a family or a recital of some, their kid or a sports game or just a picture of their car. There's all this stuff. And, 15 years it's been sitting there, no views. And it's real. These are real people. This is their real stuff. This is their real life. And it's just sitting there unseen. Because there's so much to see that it's just, no one's ever going to see it all. Yeah. And I started to feel kind of like some sort of, like I was inside of YouTube or something. And I was sort of like trapped in it, seeing all these things that were just unseen. And it was, I don't know, it just struck me in a kind of emotional way.
Something he also used in this project was AI. Something he has since denounced, and he also made special note that he never used it for the actual music. But to me, this is one of the few or only times it sort of made sense. How else to embody the album's concept than to meld the unremarkably human with the uncanny machine? Watching the film is very affecting. Those moments where you get a glimpse of one of the home movies he's talking about, brief as they are, distorted as they have been, really strike you. And those moments only work so well because of the incomprehensible noise surrounding it. Even through the fevered algorithmic dream, cracks of humanity seep through. Something has been buried in this graveyard, and it once lived. I bring this all up because, if you haven't cracked the case already, we're there. Even barring all other social media apps, YouTube alone is an algorithm flooded with people trying to be seen and hordes of AI slop content trying to smother everything else. And this is where I divert from the album's terminology just a little bit to better suit the topic at hand. The thing about those home movies is, these are real people, posting to an audience of nobody just to preserve the memory of these moments. Because of that, I see the channels that these videos are on as little graveyards to themselves. Likewise, if this blue line can be called a pulse, small creators everywhere are digging little graves for themselves in hopes of being found. So then, what is this? What is Vexy SFRR? A synthetic dumping ground of products created in bulk that have failed. Left untouched, left unseen, they have been discarded. These videos are garbage, literal waste. These channels are landfills. This is History of Food. Check out this epic AI description.
Welcome to History of Foods channel. Here you will explore the history and fascinating facts about famous dishes from around the world. From the origins of these foods to their cultural impacts, you'll embark on a delicious historical journey. So like, these are also, by the way, these are not meant to be read by people. Like, these are meant to enhance their search engine optimization, aka SEO. When I read these out loud, I just find it humorous because it's like, I'm looking somewhere that's like hiding in plain sight. I'm like, this is so obviously AI generated. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this flavorful trip through time.
If you couldn't tell, it was generated by ChatGPT based on its tone, structure, syntax, hackneyed use of food-based adjectives to describe the context, strange punctuation. Note the fact that it puts the channel name in quotes. It actually inspired me to adjust my own channel description. So, what's fun about History of Foods, History of Hood is really nothing. These videos are extremely boring. The AI voice they chose is the most droning one I have ever heard.
I've never heard an AI voice go at this leisurely of a pace. Listen.
Landscape. In the 19th century, Indian indentured laborers introduced flavorful curries and chapatis that seamlessly blended with local ingredients. Today, Tanzanian cuisine
The images are especially lackluster. I mean, maybe this makes me a massive hypocrite, but like, would one more generation have hurt? I included History of Foods because I can really see the vision here. I don't want to speculate too much on the people or entities behind these channels, but I think you can tell this person really thought they had a winner on their hands. It makes you wonder, does whoever lurks behind History of Foods even care about the history of food? Is this something they're actually passionate about in real life? Or was it just a topic with mass appeal they thought would catch on? This is what I mean when I say that AI art is a product. People generally use image generation to spit out stupid ideas they have that they don't actually care about.
As European explorers and settlers arrived,
People use it so they don't have to put in the hours of work it takes to make something good, or the money it takes to commission something good.
Bong Pop says, here comes the moral police. Absolutely. You're under arrest, Bong Pop. Bong Pop, be honest with me, genuinely. Come on, 1-to-1 here. Would you watch this entire video? Genuinely, if you saw it, would you watch this entire video?
Bangladesh's culinary journey begins with its ancient reliance on rice and legumes, forming the core of traditional meals. Over centuries,
Are you honestly gonna go up to bat for this, Bong Pop? Let's be real.
At the time of recording, History of Foods is still carrying on. I wonder how much longer they'll even bother. And ironically, I think that actually restores some of its humanity. That feeling of a hapless business venture unfolding before your eyes. Someone thinking they're really gonna strike it big and just... another dud. A big sloppy buffet for nobody. Hey man, you can always pivot. Start making videos on why people of old were walking around rocking these, and nobody will bat an eye. Or you could delete your channel. This is a very demoralizing topic. God, I feel drained already.
Do you feel drained? This channel is your go-to source for calm, powerful motivation that fuels consistency, focus, and inner strength. Hey, everyone notice the ChatGPT generated whether you are ending sentence to all of these channel descriptions? Whether you're chasing goals, rebuilding your routine, or just need a moment of clarity, Grit Lab is here to remind you, you have what it takes.
Grit Labs TV genuinely drives me up the wall. These videos usually begin with either stop or listen up. Then the default Voice Labs lady rambles ChatGPT generated platitudes over repeated generations of the same image prompt.
Rewards those who dare to design their path, not those who wander hoping for a shortcut.
Just literally the essence of sloth. Unlike the other channels so far that have attempted either entertainment or what I will very, very charitably call edutainment, Grit Labs attempts to present as some sort of motivational force. You are presumably supposed to be finding value in these videos. They're supposed to make you want to put in effort to pursue your passions and grow as a person. And it exists in a form the most antithetical to the concepts of effort and passion. It's so comically ironic that I almost cannot believe my eyes. And I think that's what burns me up about it. It's so brazen. Like it really thinks I'm gonna want to turn my life around because this weird hallucinated hunk is smoldering at me.
That raw, untamed force inside you.
No! Also, some of this advice is, like, awful.
If you keep a backup plan, you're planning to fail. Burn those bridges. Light up every escape route. When there's nowhere to retreat, you'll find power you never knew existed.
As of recording, Grit Labs TV has 10 subscribers, but you best believe they're still on the grind. Being here right now is like seeing the first tendrils of a weed sprouting. It's too small to even dig out. You just look at it and hope it doesn't grow anymore.
Every no is a dare. Listen up.
When I did the research stream for this video, I ended up leaving a pretty inflammatory comment on this channel, which was deserved, and I actually got a reply. Now, I'm no Blade Runner, but I know what you are. Notice the very predictable paragraph structure, as always. The real giveaways here are the phrase, bold move, and the entire sentence, if you're aiming for wow factor, maybe start there. Nobody who breathes air writes like that. I do think it's odd that there's a comma missing after that sure. Maybe a little hint of humanity there. Otherwise, come on, man. You can't even fight back without getting Big Brother involved. Not a lot of grit you're showing. Now you'll note the line, meanwhile, I'll keep creating for the people who do find value here. Firstly, again, like, I don't know how it could be more AI. And secondly, who? Nobody's here! This thing is kicking and screaming where it's buried. Frightening. Also, get ratioed. Look, man, I don't like being this mean, but you know, right? You have to know. It's not working, champ.
Stop wishing for
Let it go.
Dive head.
And I'm not trying to come across as some arbiter of content or anything. It's just, you're dumping trash in the lake. I'm just a concerned citizen. Also, your videos are extremely aggravating.
The world doesn't need another watered-down version of you.
You are generating fake people and then asking ChatGPT to generate motivational posts. You are a watered down version of humanity.
While writing this, I found another channel with a somewhat similar shtick, at InspireMe1925, 100% AI generated shorts. Now, instead of a gritty realism, the art style for this channel is that sickening mid-journey Pixar look, and instead of barking orders at you, it tells an AI-generated story that serves as an inspirational allegory.
A remarkable blind man who crafted candles. When townsfolk saw him bustling about, they'd often ask, "Why make candles if you can't see the light?" He'd respond with a warm smile, "But I know what it feels like."
Now, this channel also sucks and should never post again. But man, even the fact that whoever prompted all of this trash had enough brain cells to conceptualize the idea of conveying meaning through a story, instead of just asking ChatGPT to write me a short motivational video, indicates to me that somehow Grit Labs TV is operating at a level of creativity lower than the mean for all these channels. And the cherry on top? BAM! Uh-oh, Grit Labs. You getting a little fire under your belly? Are you ready to show up or show yourself out? You feeling the heat? You're gonna ramp it up? You're gonna show me what you're made of? Or maybe this is the onset of a classic enemies to lovers dynamic. Someone watching this should draw that phoenix thing in that tree kissing. I didn't say that. Let's cut that. Let's cut that, thanks.
And don't forget to like for more uplifting tailies.
Italian pandas.
Pop 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 gorilla o HH no no popinio ta gorillo pop.
Trallallero trallallà, porco dio e porco al... Trallallero trallallà, trallallero trallallà, trallallero tra...
Pop 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 gorilla ma...
No, oh. Bananini goofy knee, wah 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 wah. Macachini bananini, wah wah wah.
The final stop on our tour de Tritus takes us to what I find is the most unsettling landfill of them all. Unfortunately, it requires a little context into one of the foremost blights on the short-form video content form Reddit ragebait stories. Depending on how I feel on any given day, Reddit ragebait stories are either the absolute lowest, most idiotic, bottom-feedingest form of content ever, or just straight-up propaganda tools to increase the amount of mistrust and misanthropy in the world. I feel hesitant to even summarize the concept of Reddit story videos because they are so ubiquitous. But one thing I want to highlight about them is that, again, they get away with being mostly slop largely because of the one human aspect. Those oddly satisfying videos you just can't look away from. The stories themselves are all the same. The narrator is a victim of someone abusing their power, or encounters someone abusing their power over someone else. The protagonist eventually exacts a karmic punishment upon this abuser that, while in any other context would be viewed as extreme, manages to justify itself through whatever circumstances ChatGPT invented around it, allowing otherwise sane people to experience an abundance of schadenfreude over a completely fabricated situation, which I'm sure is totally fine, and not worrying at all. People in the comments of these videos draw upon the rage they've felt in similar situations from their own lives to create a thread of vitriol in response to, again, an LLM's fictitious combination of words designed with the express intent of invoking that negative reaction, pushed by an algorithm that knows negativity gets more engagement, creating a veritable Monsters Inc.-esque business model of sucking the life force out of people by reminding them how much they hate their mother-in-law.
Update 2. My nightmare mother-in-law tried to pressure me into letting my wife get impregnated by another man, so I socked him in the face and walked out.
Anyway, I truly believe this is the most evil form of mainstream short-form content, and I frequently find myself surprised that nobody really seems to sweat this. And of course, it won't surprise anyone that quite a few of these channels exist. And because of how saturated the market is with identical content, even the successful ones see substantial inconsistencies in their viewership, approaching millions at times, then sinking back to a substantially less, but certainly sizable, tens of thousands. Likewise, much smaller channels can see a massive boom in views when the algorithm picks their video up at random and the viewing audience mindlessly engages with it, only for those views to immediately crater because no brand loyalty has really been built. It appears somebody got wise to this, and I hope this isn't a conspiracy that will find me in a ditch someday soon, but a cursory glance at all these channels will note a sect of them all named Reddit-name. We have Reddit Maya, Reddit Nora, Reddit Flora, Reddit Una, Reddit Rena, Reddit Evelyn, Reddit Alice, Reddit Ashton, Reddit Karen, Reddit Carrier, Reddit Edison, Reddit Mia, Reddit Willie, Reddit Faye, and I promise you I could continue. All of their descriptions contain either story or story subscribe, cutesy aesthetics, identical content, each individually rather small, but together, I can only imagine the amount of revenue this grift brings in. Also, there's no way this could possibly be allowed, right? This has to be violating, like, some kind of rule. Surely. At the very least from an ethical standpoint. But I'm not talking about this, okay? I don't want to be the Gary Webb of Reddit story channels. I am leaving this stone unturned. For now. Anyway, that was a horrifically long digression. Obviously, in this content form's ostensibly free market, barring the shadow monopoly, a great many channels slip through the cracks. Here's Reddit Short Hub, a channel that blasted out 105 videos from August to October of last year, then as quickly as it came to life, laid itself to rest. And there are countless more. These channels are the easiest gateway into the world we've been discussing today. Just looking up Reddit stories yields hordes of these channels, either defunct or ongoing. Just look at all this. It's so interesting to see all the ways they're just a little more defective than the ones that hit it big. The captions aren't as dynamic. The background music is mixed too loudly.
Downtown apartment last month. Older building, kind of rundown, but the price was right.
Or there's no music at all.
So I started cheating too. Now I'm pregnant and IDK what to do.
The AI voice just isn't as engaging.
He begged me not to leave him. I said we could try mending, but only with counseling.
And this is what terrifies me. It's the fact that the difference between this and this, the difference between 4 views and 4 million, is just one hair of effort. 5 more minutes in CapCut mixing the background music. 30 more seconds looking up and stealing an oddly satisfying video compilation to make something that is, in both cases, digital waste. Then I stumbled onto one that really chilled me. This is Reddit Dreams Podcast. Already, you can see that this one emanates something darker, freakier than the others. When I stumbled upon this channel, I had the foresight to screen record my first encounter. I saw that this short, at the time, had 0 views. I would be the first person to lay eyes on this video since whoever or whatever uploaded it.
Is this how you utilize Kegel exercises during lovemaking? Hello. I recently got into having a romantic relationship, and unfortunately, I have premature ejaculation. I was advised to do Kegel exercises, but it didn't seem to delay my first ejaculation that much.
Reddit Dreams Podcast has a little over 2.5 thousand subscribers. I don't believe that number was achieved organically. To my point, their most popular video has 9.2 thousand views, but only 37 likes. So I don't believe that number either. RDP's shorts vary wildly in views, but whether a video has 1 view, 100, 200, or a little over 1,000, most, if not all of them, lack any kind of engagement. They feature no music, no captions, just stills of a single prompt cutting from one variant to the next, in an unnerving slideshow of artifice. The posts go from strange but largely innocuous to lasciviously graphic.
She can get buffalo sauce on her sheets while I deliver that blue cheese.
Some are just downright frightening.
Sinner of All Sinners Part 2. Puzzle pieces of life that lead up to the day of the walk of the sinner's life. Connection is key. Why is the answer to how? How is the construct of what your connected self tells you? What lay before you and all the stardust whispers is the path. Your imagination is not always untrue. It very much can be more real than what lies we are told.
Creepier still is this. Each lengthy description gives a generated name for the post author who does not exist, crediting them for a post that was never posted. This channel has been around for less than 1 year at the time of writing this, and it has pumped out
1.9 thousand videos.
Just look at this. Of all of the channels we've gone over, this is the one that fills me with the most dread. It is so inhuman, it's no longer recognizable. These dead-eyed digital dolls with freakish image errors, these empty stories, it wants you to buy into a surreality where no aspect of the process is human. This is the soul of every Reddit Stories channel, every AI channel laid bare. Look at it. This is what these channels think people will watch. This is what they think people will respond to. And this is the amount of effort they're willing to put in exchange for your time. This is how little they respect you. This is how little they care. This channel is failing, for now. This style of content is not. The only real difference, though, is that, ironically enough, Reddit Dreams Podcast is the only one being honest.
This is what I am. This is what you'll get, and you'll like it. And if you don't like it, if you don't watch it, I don't care. Because I'm not here either. Nobody's here.
As I was creating this video, I realized that the ending I had wasn't really sufficient, and I actually had no idea how to end it at all. In fact, a lot of this video ended up being cut. I had so many more channels that I was going to talk about but didn't include. I had a full-length explanation of how image generation works and the difference between diffusion and OpenAI's new auto-regressive image generation, which is basically the Ouroboros of image generation, which is awesome. I was going to talk about the latest AI advertisements coming our way.
Why is this person following me wherever I walk?
That's just your shadow.
I had a saccharine little piece about how a tech bro would never understand what it's like to be in a museum and see a beautiful painting. Which, you know, it may be true, but definitely a little self-indulgent. Most painfully left on the cutting room floor, I actually had a segment talking about my experience as a shorts creator and the time and effort I put into it and why I stopped making shorts. But I kind of want to save that for another time. Ultimately, what I kept coming back to while I was trying to figure out what this ending should be was sort of a feeling of kind of hopelessness, I guess. I really didn't know how to spin this. I think it's safe to say we live in a post-AI world. It has infiltrated the mainstream in a way that I never would have expected even 2 years ago. I mean, look, people have always loved to slop, but... wow. I guess I never realized, it was to this degree. And just seeing all these channels, especially the actually influential ones, it just put me in a bad mood, and all of this stuff I had to cut, all of this toiling away in the edit. I mean, man. But as I've been chipping away at this thing, my mind kept coming back to, brace yourselves, a poem. And I guess I eventually realized that that's the ending. I'm just gonna read it to you, and I don't think I really need to explain this one. But before I do, I just want to say this. You can take every shortcut imaginable and succeed. You can take every shortcut imaginable and fail miserably. Likewise, you can pour your heart and soul into something and fail. And you can pour your heart and soul into something and succeed. What matters is why you're doing it. And part of why it matters is because that why informs what it means to succeed. So anyway, this is St. Kevin and the Blackbird by Seamus Heaney. And then there was St. Kevin and the Blackbird. The saint is kneeling, arms stretched out inside his cell, but the cell is narrow, so one turned up palm is out the window, stiff as a crossbeam when a blackbird lands and lays in it and settles down to nest. Kevin feels the warm eggs, the small breast, the tucked, neat head and claws, and finding himself linked into the network of eternal life, is moved to pity. Now he must hold his hand like a branch out in the sun and rain for weeks, until the young are hatched and fledged and flown. And since the whole thing's imagined anyhow, imagine being Kevin. Which is he? Self-forgetful or in agony all the time? From the neck on, out, down, through his hurting forearms? Are his fingers sleeping? Does he feel his knees? Or has the shut-eyed blank of under-earth crept up through him? Is there distance in his head? Alone and mirrored clear in love's deep river. To labor and to not seek reward, he prays. A prayer his body makes entirely, for he has forgotten self, forgotten bird, and on the riverbank forgotten the river's name. Congratulations, you lived. Pick what you want to do next.